You know, the WWE, okay, on Raw and SmackDown, you had the likes of Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley ramming each other through the stage. And when I saw that, I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, okay, nice, you know, going through the stage. Then I rewatch it again, and I really appreciate it more. I'm like, you know what, shit, I actually fucks with this. I like this. I really do. I really do like the idea of, you know, these guys just going at it, you know. Despite the fact that we don't really like Lashley and Strowman, we don't really, you know, care what they do. But at the same time, I appreciate the fact that they did something that to get people talking. They were able to, you know, brawl it out for about, I think, 2-3 minutes. Able to get onto the stage, and then Braun Strowman just ramming Lashley right through the set, and then explosion went off. And then Corey Graves with the holy shit line, and then, you know, it was cool. I really appreciate it, and I really liked it. I really did. Monday Night Raw went from good to decent in 1.5 hours. Okay? From that segment and moving forward later on in the show, it was nice. Maria Kanellis calling her husband a bitch, which, I don't know, some kinky shit. I don't know what was going on with that, but that might be the case. But then, you know, then we had the mixed tag match with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. From that point on, everything kind of went downhill. Ricochet versus AJ Styles, and then AJ Styles winning the championship, but then John Cone coming out and, you know, reversing the decision because Ricochet had his foot underneath the ropes for starting the match. People were calling that out, be like, so where was that referee when Samoa Joe got fucked over at Money in the Bank? You know, I'm in that same boat. Like, what happened? Why didn't they do this 2 months ago? I don't know. But in the end of the day, Raw was decent in my eyes. SmackDown, though, SmackDown, no, I barely cared at all. I'm not gonna lie. I had at the beginning of the show, I was like, so we're starting off with Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre, Kevin. Why are we doing this? And then so came out. I'm like, you know. There was some points of SmackDown which was nice. You know, Big E versus Daniel Bryan was a good match. Bayley and Nikki Cross had a good segment. I think that, and then the New Day and Daniel Bryan and Heavy Machinery in the main event of SmackDown, shit like that was nice. SmackDown was decent too. Just that SmackDown, it just didn't feel like anything changed. Raw, it just had that big spot with Lashley and Strowman and AJ Styles turning heel. That was pretty much it that I can remember. But SmackDown, I gotta at least appreciate the fact that they're showing love for the tag team titles. Where the fuck are the Revival? You know, what happened to them being the Raw tag team champions? They're not doing anything on TV again. I don't get it. I mean, yeah, they got beat up by Roman Reigns, but I mean, it wasn't that bad. It could have at least came back from a week from that. I mean, I don't get it. So WWE this week with the tutelage, under the tutelage of Heyman and Bishoff so far, well, things are decent in my eyes. You know, I wasn't really expecting anything huge to happen. I wasn't expecting, you know, a new set, theme music, new graphics, you know, matches being booked in, you know, in certain ways, things changing. I do feel like, you know, whatever they have planned, they're going to stick with it until SummerSlam. Some might say, hell, they might change after Extreme Rules 10 days from now, or 9 days from now. But I honestly think, well, I give it till SummerSlam. After SummerSlam, that's when things will be a reset. And besides, they have to change after SummerSlam. There's no excuses, because think about this. I don't want to use this as an excuse. I'm just saying, as a guy who's now a big NBA fan, bigger than I ever been in my life right now, and with the NFL coming up as well, you got the NFL eating your ass alive on Monday Night Football, And you got the NBA season gonna start the same month as SmackDown going to Fox and AEW going to TNT. So you gotta keep that in mind, WWE, that once October or late September, October comes around, you better be at your fucking best, because at that point, your ass is grass. Simple. You know? And I will never use an excuse, oh, Toronto, the NBA, the championship finals were on, people were gonna watch, 18 million rather, or 20 million people were watching it. No, I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. I will never use NBA or NHL or NFL as an excuse for people to not watch WWE television to watch those specific sports. I will never use that as an excuse, because in the end of the day, this has been going on for over 20, 30, 40, 50, how many fucking years, and yet, WWE did fine throughout those years. I mean, yeah, mid-90s, they suffered, but then, the Attitude Era, they kicked ass, NBA was still high, by like 99, 2000, it was trying to recover after Michael Jordan retired, went to go play baseball, which was weird in my eyes. I mean, I understand you try to be great in a different sport because you were great in one sport, but but in the end of the day, all I'm saying is WWE better be at their very best after SummerSlam, because AEW's All Out will happen after SummerSlam, and then you got the whole month of September, right? That's WWE right there. WWE has a chance in September to finally break things, have things come out and, introduce new stuff, new ideas, new matches, new rivalries, etc. Because October hits and you haven't changed a bit, your ass is grass. And then the viewership is going to go lower and lower and lower. The venues are going to be less than 50% from what I've seen. And then the network subscriptions, I don't think those will change, because people, I'm sure they're still going to watch NXT. So, there's that. So, yeah, I'm going to give them a whole month and a half until SummerSlam. After that, no excuses. Honest. So, this week was decent. Let's see how they do next week, Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley. I kind of care about Lashley a little bit more now. I care about Lashley more than Strowman. I really do. Because at this point, I'm finished with Strowman. Like, what can he do that can honestly get me hyped? The only thing that gets me hyped about Braun is when he does his entrance. When I hear that music, I'm like, oh, shit. Like he still has that intimidation, factor. He still has that intimidation factor, but at the same time, once that bell rings, that intimidation, like that whole feeling goes away real quick, honestly. Like when he comes out, his entrance music hits, it's like, oh shit, you better run, you better but then when the bell rings, I don't really care. Simple. That's how I feel about Braun Strowman. But Bobby Lashley, I want to see Bobby Lashley succeed. Former Intercontinental Champion, 2-time Intercontinental Champion. Hopefully one day he'll be able to go on to win a World Championship. I wouldn't mind it if they're able to make him a big heel on television, to where everybody cares about him. People want to see him get his ass kicked. Kind of like a Ciampa level. Okay, that's a bit far-fetched. Maybe Daniel Bryan level, maybe a little bit there. He'll be able to, if he can reach that point of a heel, then maybe Bobby Lashley will do great. Maybe. We'll see. So apparently, rumors going around. Former WWE Champion was backstage, and it was Sheamus. And low-key, after Cesaro came to Raw, I was literally asking myself, what the hell happened to Sheamus? I know he's hurt, but like he's doing great as far as his workout goes on YouTube. The Celtic Warrior workout show, which I should probably keep watching. I should probably watch, if I want to work out. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, what happened to this guy? What happened to Sheamus? Former 4-time WWE champion, a former United States champion, 2-time I believe. I don't know if he won the Intercontinental title yet, but a former multiple time 4 or 5 tag team champion, I think it was. You know, Sheamus has almost done it all in the WWE. Rumble winner. The only thing he hasn't done is like main event WrestleMania. He's a former Money in the Bank winner as well. Sheamus has done a lot in the WWE within the past 10 years. The thing is that it's sad because whenever Sheamus has done something, the crowd or people don't really care as much, and it's the truth. And I don't want to say that out of disrespect. I'm just saying, you know, when Sheamus does something, there's not that many interest there. You know, people like The Bar mainly because of Cesaro. Sheamus did good too, but it's just that people were looking towards Cesaro more than Sheamus. That is a fact. And no one's gonna tell me, oh, I looked. No. You're not gonna bullshit me, okay? I had the same feeling you did. You looked at The Bar because of Cesaro, okay? So all I'm saying is that I hope Sheamus one day can, like, you know, get back to what he was doing before The Bar. You know, the whole Celtic Warrior thing. That's what he was doing. So hopefully that'll be the case. And hopefully they give him back his fucking theme song that Cesaro tried to steal from him. Yeah, hopefully. It's like, oh shit, that's Sheamus' theme. My bad. Anyways, PW Insider is reporting that Sheamus is in San Antonio. He said tonight. Well, what was this report? This was reported 1 day ago. Today's, well, I'm recording this Thursday, so I guess maybe on Wednesday or maybe Tuesday night, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, so Sheamus or SmackDown Live emanates from, but there's no word yet on if he'll appear on the show or if he's backstage in another capacity. It was reported yesterday that the Celtic Warrior was back on the road with WWE this week after being out of action since April, appearing at a signing at the Lackland Air Force Base in San Antonio. And I guess there's like a picture. I don't know. What's next? With SmackDown Live only a few hours away, yet this was obviously reported before SmackDown. So, yeah. All I can say is, hopefully Sheamus will be able to do something when he gets back full condition. WWE News. Finn Balor's next tease challenger on SmackDown Live. Yeah, I tweeted this out. I'm like, who the fuck is facing Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship at Extreme Rules pay-per-view? Because last time I have not seen Finn Balor in action on SmackDown in how long, huh? Before Money in the Bank, right? Because I saw him on SmackDown last week, but all he did was an interview. That's all I saw. I didn't see nothing else. So let me see what Sportskeeda is saying right here. During the interview with Kayla Braxton, Balor put over Andrade in their match in Jeddah. Andrade has also been off TV due to the death of his mother and aunt. Oh, that's my condolences, by the way. His mom and aunt. Good grief, that 2 people. Wow. It was thought that they would continue to feud over the IC title. Due to Andrade's reported absence, it appears that the fans will receive another dream match, albeit one that already happened under the WWE's banner. It's not really a dream match if it already happened, just saying. Nakamura simply appeared during Balor's backstage interview, and it looked like he gave the title a too sweet gesture, calling back to the wrestler's time in New Japan. The two men met back in NXT in 2016, not 14, nitwits. What the fuck, dude? Like, you know what? It says 2014, but it's 2016. I ain't forget. I was literally watching NXT like last week of like 2016 time when Balor was, you know, NXT champion for about 290 something days. So I don't know how you're gonna tell me otherwise. Yeah, Nakamura beating Balor on NXT. I remember the segment too. I was like a week before. I think it was a week or 2 weeks before the match itself. You know, Nakamura came out to Balor, says, I want to have a match with you. You know, the way how Nakamura does things. He came out and challenged Finn Balor, and Balor accepted it. And they made the match on NXT TV. Nakamura has been teaming with Rusev since February after both men lost the United States Championship. They're among the teams in the 4-way match of the SmackDown Tag Team titles at WrestleMania 35. While the Tag Team division could use that pairing again, it appears it might be over, at least until after Nakamura gets the title shot at Finn Balor's Intercontinental Gold. What's next? Although the match was teased, it still hasn't been made official. With Extreme Rules only 2 weeks away, or less than 2 weeks away at this point, it could come to fruition next week or via social media at some point. Whenever it does happen, it is a good pairing for the superstars and the fans alike. Of course, another wrestler could also be added to the mix in the coming days. Balor versus Shinsuke Nakamura, I would give this a lot of build, so I would save this for SummerSlam. Want to know how I would do this? Why don't you make Finn Balor look like a beast by not having him defend it at Extreme Rules? You want to make the Intercontinental... I know. It contradicts what I just said moments ago, but I literally just thought of this in my head right now. Do not let Finn Balor defend the title at Extreme Rules. He defended it in Jeddah. Okay, that was like, what, 2-3 weeks ago? Right? So, Extreme Rules is literally next week. So why don't let him defend it until SummerSlam? You know? And you have Shinsuke Nakamura get win after win after win after win after win after win. And then by what? 3 weeks before SummerSlam, then you make the match between Balor and Nakamura for the Intercontinental Gold. You make the mid-card look important, you make the Intercontinental title look important, and you make Finn Balor look a little bit important, because you make him look like, well, he's took on all comers, but yet there's nobody there except for Shinsuke, because Shinsuke, within the past 4 to 5 weeks, have been getting win after win after win after win. He's been dominant on SmackDown. So why don't you do that? Let Nakamura go through the mid-card, right? And then Finn Balor gets some matches here and there, so he can at least wrestle on the show. You know, if you want to make Finn Balor defend the Intercontinental Championship against Andrade Cien Almas again, then fine. At least that way, people won't be bitching about it. Oh, he's the worst Intercontinental Champion, or he didn't defend it for over 30 days, blah, blah, blah. Right? That's what I would do. You know, within the next month, you let Finn Balor and Nakamura do not get involved with each other. But after what Nakamura did on SmackDown, making it clear that he wants that championship, you gotta make Nakamura work for it. He hasn't done anything to deserve anything at the moment anyway. So you make him win after win after win, match after match after match. And then you let Finn Balor do some of that as well. Let him defend it against Andrade one more time if necessary. And then after that, you have Nakamura, you know, makes his intentions very clear to everyone that he's going to be challenging Balor for the Intercontinental title, and they announce it on social media or on TV or whatever how you do it, and then boom, at SummerSlam, biggest party of the summer, a match of this magnitude for the Intercontinental Championship. Yes, people will say, oh, this should be for the WWE or the Universal Championship, but it's for the Intercontinental title. Sometimes the matches are best for the mid-card championship. Look at Rollins and Miz. They were phenomenal for the Intercontinental Championship last year. So, Balor versus Nakamura, I mean, would you really complain if it happened at SummerSlam on the main show for the Intercontinental Championship? Hell, if you want to bring out the Demon, bring out the Demon. Simple. There you go. That's how you book Finn Balor, and that's how you book Shinsuke Nakamura, and that's how you book the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you don't like that idea. Because wins and losses need to matter, and people are getting opportunity for doing absolutely nothing, and I really hate it. What has Alexa Bliss done to get a title shot at Extreme Rules? Oh, Nikki Cross won a match for her. Wow. So we doing that now, huh? Where wrestlers are lazy to get in the ring to earn themselves a shot, so you have another wrestler do your bidding to get yourself a shot. If that's the case, why hasn't everybody else done that? Why hasn't Baron Corbin done that? Why hasn't fucking Samoa Joe done that? Why haven't this one done that? Why haven't that one done that? Why hasn't the Viking Raiders used Hawkinson Ryder or something to get them a title shot at the Revival? Or something. I don't know. I sound retarded right now. I'm sorry. Okay. So, another rumor is going around. Backstage update on why Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff were hired to new roles. Heyman's Raw Influence. When I saw Paul Heyman backstage, by the way, I thought he was going to come out and say, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and not only am I the advocate for 2019's Mr. Beast in the Bank in Brock Lesnar, but I am also the new executive producer or a director of Monday Night Raw. That's what I thought he was gonna say, but no, he didn't say shit. He just he just came out on Raw backstage and he just said what he normally would say. He said that he's the advocate for Brock Lesnar, and that's it. They didn't really mention how he's the executive director of Raw backstage. So I don't know, maybe that's a bit cool, you know. A part of me would like for them to acknowledge that. I mean, because, you know, a lot of people know what's going on backstage nowadays, so what better way for them to not acknowledge, yeah, I'm an executive director of Monday Night Raw, so I have somewhat of power. You know, I would love for them, if they're going to be on TV, acknowledge it, because we all know what you were doing backstage. That's just me. You know, because AEW, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna act like, well, we don't know who's who's behind what, who's doing this, who's doing that, who's in what position. Like, they already announced it. Yo, I'm this, I'm that. They acknowledge it on television too. So, we don't, you know, they acknowledge it on pay-per-views. That Cody's an executive. Young Bucks are executive. This one got signed by this guy. You know, like, that's just me. I don't know. Dave Meltzer noted in the most recent issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that All Elite Wrestling president Tony Khan is a student of the wrestling business and was a big ECW fan, which might be one of the reasons why WWE chose to lock up Paul Heyman so as to keep him from signing with AEW. Let's be realistic. Say if Heyman left the WWE, where the fuck would he go? Because after Heyman left the WWE about 12 years ago, he didn't go anywhere. Did he go to TNA? No. Did he go to New Japan? No. So what makes you think that if he left the WWE, he's going to go to All Elite Wrestling? Just because it's there, and it's the hottest thing going on right now outside of WWE, you know? That doesn't mean it attracts Heyman himself, that he would be like, you know what, let me be like everyone else and go to AEW. Just because Heyman, you know, left the WWE doesn't mean he's going to go to another wrestling company. I mean, if he has interest in AEW, then he has interest and he's going to go. He might go, you know. But if he has no interest to be anywhere else but the WWE because they treat him, you know, well, why else would he leave anywhere else? You know, so I really hate that. That excuse. Oh, because, you know, AEW is gonna pick up Heyman. I mean, just because Tony Khan is a big fan of ECW doesn't really mean that Heyman is gonna be like, oh, you know, the president of AEW is a big fan of me, of my work, of my brand, ECW. You know, and he's gonna treat me so right in AEW. Like, I'm just saying, like, just because there's a lot of things there doesn't mean it's bound to happen that Heyman's gonna go to AEW all because he left the WWE and Tony Khan is a big mark for ECW, and I don't mean that in a negative way. So that's just my observation there. Chose to lock up Paul Heyman so as to keep him from signing with AEW, even though I believe he's not going to go. That's just me. If he goes, then I'm wrong. I'm not afraid to be wrong. There you go. Meltzer added that while it remains more unlikely that AEW would have signed Eric Bischoff, I don't think so. Then again, WWE was somehow able to meet Eric Bischoff's standards to sign him. So maybe AEW could have done the same thing. I don't know. Maybe Bischoff at the time, he thought about it and then he changed his mind. Maybe it's one of those moments. He changed his mind and then he signed. Maybe it's one of those. I don't know. WWE also wanted to lock up the former WCW executive producer so he could not lend any of his assistance to the upstart AEW, even though he gave them a lot of, you know, advice. Do not try to compete. Be your own brand. Don't try to copy. Be unique. You know, that's pretty much what Bischoff was. It wasn't like he doesn't have to sign up with them to. I mean, what is he gonna do? honestly. And he barely watches wrestling nowadays. So what is he gonna do? You know, I would be surprised if, I don't know how long this contract he's signed up with. Maybe it might be 3 years, 5 years. I don't know, but by the time his contract is ended, I'm sure he's gonna be done by wrestling forever. I'm sure he'll be done by it. I don't know. What's next? Eric Bischoff and his family are in the process of relocating to Stamford, Connecticut again. And as of this writing, Bischoff is expected to begin contributing in a creative capacity to SmackDown Live, taping on July 16. Oh, so Bischoff didn't have anything to do with SmackDown this week. Because why would it say begin? Like, wouldn't begin meaning start? So I guess next episode of SmackDown, which is this coming Tuesday. That's after Extreme Rules, I should say. So I guess Vince, I would assume Vince has a lot to do, obviously, because they have to answer to Vince regardless. You know, Vince is that, you know, the head honcho, so to speak. It's not going to be like WCW where you had freaking Eric Bischoff calling the shots, and then freaking Ted Turner's doing jack. He's just financing the whole thing, but he doesn't do anything like a Vince McMahon would do, you know. So I guess after Extreme Rules, I guess that's when Heyman and Bischoff will start getting their stuff in on both shows, respectively. Maybe the wild card ends by that week. You know, we still have about a week and a half left until Extreme Rules, Raw, and SmackDown the following night. So maybe Heyman had something to do with Raw this week, but Bischoff didn't have jack to do with SmackDown. So we'll have to wait and see with that. Extreme Rules, matches, predictions, rumors, start date. Extreme Rules takes place Sunday, July 14th, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, midnight into July 15th on Monday in the United Kingdom, Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 1 hour kickoff show at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. in the UK. What's the match? Full match card predictions for Extreme Rules. So we already got the winner takes all. I don't know if it's a Extreme Rules match. It says Extreme Rules winner takes all. Does that mean it's a Extreme Rules match, but in a tornado style? I don't know how this is gonna work. I honestly would let this be a tornado style match for the championships, because honestly, a boring ass have to tag in, tag out rules match. I mean, come on, man. This is fucking Extreme Rules. We need weapons. They need to make up for what happened last year. Last year, Extreme Rules was an abomination. An abomination. You had one or two Extreme Rules matches at Extreme Rules last year. And it was the worst match of the night, which was freaking, or one of the worst matches of the night, in Bliss and Jax. So they need to make up for this fucking show. They need to make up for what happened last year. So we got the winner takes all Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules winners take all match between Rollins and Lynch, the boring duo in my eyes, against Corbin and Evans. So there's that. Then we got Bliss and Bailey again. Joe versus Kingston, a match I actually don't mind. Hopefully they can add like a stipulation or something, but they're probably not. The triple threat tag team title match, Heavy Machinery, Woods and Big E, and Bryan and Rowan. I actually like the match they had on SmackDown with Heavy Machinery against Ziggler and KO, and you have Bryan and Rowan and Big E and Woods at ringside, you know, on commentary. Bryan and Rowan were talking shit to Big E and Woods, saying like, "Oh, you guys." I mean, Xavier Woods brought up good points that, you know, Bryan and Rowan didn't do what they did. You know, longest reigning tag champs in history, multiple time tag team titles, able to take the tag team division to like newer heights. But then again, Bryan brought up a good point. They never main evented a pay-per-view. as the tag team champions, or defended the tag titles in the main event capacity. Never ever did on pay-per-view. They may have done it on Raw or SmackDown, but never ever on pay-per-view. So there's that. The Cruiserweight Championship, Tony Nese versus Drew Gulak. I don't know if there's rematches or rematch clauses on 205 Live. I would assume Tony Nese had to beat people to get a shot. I don't watch 205 Live anymore, and I heard that it's going to be canceled by the end of the year, so I wouldn't be mad at it. Put them on Raw. Spice things up on Raw, for fuck's sake. Roman Reigns and Undertaker against Shane and Drew. People were like, why is Undertaker helping him? And Undertaker explained it, and people still don't understand it. I understand it very clearly. Shane McMahon is a fucking prick. He's taking everything for granted. He's letting his greed getting to the best of him. So the conscience of the WWE was like, you know what? I'm sick of this shit. And I guess it bothered him, you know. People were like, well, kayfabe, he shouldn't care. But then again, you can't be labeled the fucking conscience of the WWE and not do anything about it. I'm just saying. But then again, they didn't use The Undertaker when the Authority was taking over for fucking 2 to 3 years. The Undertaker didn't do shit when Brock Lesnar was reigning over WWE for a bit. You know, like, stuff like that. But when it comes to Shane McMahon, you know, Undertaker's like, ugh. But we all know why he's here. Desperate move, you know. Spike a rating, even though it didn't do jack, you know. I don't trust The Undertaker in the ring after what happened at Saudi Arabia. I'm sorry. Yeah, it may have been Goldberg's fault, or one of they're both at fault, but in the end of the day, I just don't trust The Undertaker. Can he do what he can do as good as he is, you know, in the ring nowadays? Hopefully, Shane McMahon will do what will make Undertaker look good. Maybe change my tune. That's what I want. But I feel like Undertaker's going to get taken out of the match. Roman Reigns is going to be the one taking all the beating, and Taker come back in the match. I don't know if Taker and Roman's going to win this match. I'll be damned if Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre wins, because we're never going to hear the end of it. I really hope to God this ends by SummerSlam, and Roman Reigns beat the fuck out of Shane to where Shane is off TV and it's just Drew and Roman. I'd rather take Drew and Roman at this point, because I'm just tired of hearing "here comes the money." I'm tired of seeing Shane McMahon. I'm tired of hearing "the best in the world." I'm tired of all of this shit. I'm low-key really am tired that much. I'm thinking about not even using Shane McMahon as my general manager in my fucking uterus mode. That's how tired I am of Shane fucking McMahon. Okay? That's all I can say about that. And I think that's it. You know? That's all the matches being predicted so far. Now it's just asking, like, how can you watch the network and how you guys watch the pay-per-view and whatnot. So, in the end of the day, bro, the WWE, I really hope changes by this fall. I really hope. I really do hope that things change for the better by this coming fall. Because if they don't, NBA, NFL will chew their asses out along with AEW. Backstage update status on Gallows and Anderson. Note on AJ Styles' heel turn. As speculated earlier this week, Gallows and Anderson officially reunited the club with Styles on Raw. Gallows and Anderson have either agreed or actually signed to their 5-year contract, according to a Wrestling Observer newsletter. G&A are said to be re-signing with WWE under long-term deals. There's no word yet on the exact length of those deals, but most of the recent extensions have been for 5 years. The AJ heel turn and the reunion of the club was reportedly planned out before Heyman was hired as the Raw executive director, which is actually nice to hear, meaning that it didn't take fucking Heyman to come up with that idea. As we've noted, Heyman did not run all of the creative for this week's Raw, but his fingerprints were all over the show. Was also noted that unlike the situation with the Raw Tag Team Champions of Revival, where they were given the titles and pushed with Shane McMahon to keep them from going to AEW next year, Gallows and Anderson are said to be focused on the new stable with Styles, and they have made the decision to stick with the company. Well, I don't want to hear anything complaints. I don't want to hear nothing. If they treat them like shit, if they resign, that's all I can say about that. You know, if they really resign, that's cool. That's cool. But if they fucking complain, well, I'm not getting pushed, well, shut your ass up. You shouldn't have fucking resigned like fucking Maria Kanellis and Mike Kanellis did. They fucking bitched and moaned, wah. Why am I not on 205 Live? We are the best thing going. 205 Live is the best wrestling show, but yet you resign because, well, you want to take care of your kids, you know? I don't blame you for that, but I'm just saying, could have went somewhere else. You know, your wrestling career would be a lot better. Don't have to travel as much as well. Just saying. Exclusive news on when Maria Kanellis learned of her pregnancy. Maria and her husband Mike recently signed 5 new 5-year deals with the company. Wrestling Inc. can confirm that Maria and Mike signed their new deals in early June. Wow. However, they learned that they were pregnant only 1 week and a half ago. WWE was aware of that, that Maria and Mike wanted another child when they were offered their new deals. The company is apparently trying to make their environment more modernized for working mothers. That includes having a room for young children at their 4 major pay-per-views, as well as scheduled time off for family events. As we previously reported, Maria stated on Twitter that she plans on working throughout her pregnancy for as long as her doctors approve. She also plans on returning to WWE after having the baby and getting cleared. Mike Kanellis made his Raw debut this past Monday night, teaming with Maria, who never tagged in, and revealed her pregnancy during the match against Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Maria berated Mike throughout the match, which resulted with Becky Lynch making Mike tap the fuck out. Mike was back in action on 205 Live this week, teaming with Cruiserweight champ Gulak and Daivari in a losing effort against Gallagher, Lorcan, and Nice. So there's that. Maria Kanellis responds to reports about her pregnancy and re-signing with the company. As noted, Mike and Maria Kanellis signed new 5-year deals with WWE, reportedly worth $500,000 per year. Wow. On this week's Raw, Kanellis joins her husband Mike with another mixed tag match with Universal Champ Rollins and Women's Champ Becky Lynch. Now, normally when somebody faces the champ in their debut, that's a big good sign at times, but in this case, nah, not really. At one point in the match, with Kanellis got on the mic and informed everyone that she was preggo. Wrestling Observer Radio confirmed she was indeed pregnant, while PW Insider also noted Kanellis informed WWE that she was pregnant after they signed their new deals. Last night, Maria Kanellis tweeted out about these reports, saying wrestling news sites were getting played by their sources. Quote, I'm starting to wonder when the wrestling news sites are going to realize they are getting played by sources desperate for attention, Kanellis wrote. Attacking a pregnant woman with false accusations could get you fired in another profession. Be professional. Do the research. Don't become puppets. Furthermore, some of these reporters used to beg me for interviews when I was in the Indies. When I was on the Indies. You want me to start taking photos of your emails and sending them out? I don't think so. Just sit back and enjoy the show, because I certainly am enjoying all of you looking like fools. That's all I have. That's all I want to say on that. I'd rather do my job, enjoy my daughter, and rest for my pregnancy. Also, end quote. Also, in responding to a fan, Kanellis said she wants to stay on the road as long as she medically can't, and plans on returning after having the child. Yes, I do. God willing, Kanellis responded. I also planned on working as long as my doctors approve. End quote. And then she says here on Twitter, and then Yeah, she just tweeted out what I said already. Yeah. So, again, if you fucking don't get used, I don't want to hear your bitch ass complaining. Oh, you resign. Whose fault is that? It ain't mine. Stop it. Enough. Relax. What? WWE is offering 2-to-1 deals for Extreme. I don't blame them. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Okay. WWE has changed the pricing for tickets for their upcoming Extreme Rules pay-per-view at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. As seen at this link, tickets are now being offered with a 2-for-1 deal. So if you're Grim Toy Show and Doo-Hop and everyone else in GTS, your ass is lucky. You can get 2-to-1 deal tickets for Extreme Rules in Philly. This will be the second consecutive pay-per-view event in which WWE has offered a 2-for-1 deal before the last month's Stomping Ground pay-per-view. It was even reported that a free ticket, that free tickets to the event were being given away at the local mall in Tacoma, Washington. That is so pathetic. You're the biggest wrestling company in the fucking world, and yet you're giving out free tickets? Damn, that's just pathetic. It was also reported that the attendance at the arena for Stomping Grounds was poor, with paid attendance being 4,000 to 4,500 fans in an arena built for 18,000 people. After production is set at home, the show drew record low pay-per-view buys, with the reported number being somewhere around 9,800, so 9,800. You know, I'm not gonna lie, some people still try to look at the positives of this. Well, you know, getting 9,000 people to come to a show is still impressive. It is, but at the same time, you're fucking WWE, for God's sakes. You're the biggest company in wrestling, and yet you can't draw more than 10,000 people. Yet a t-shirt company who's been alive for about 7 months is now able to draw more than what you can draw now. Sad. A company that's been around for 7 months can draw a 10,000 seated arena plus 10,000 plus seated arena, and yet WWE can't even draw 10,000 people right now. And they're the biggest company. They have TV products. They have their own network. Yet AEW has Jack. They don't have a TV yet. You know, they're signed to TNT, but they don't have a TV show yet. You know, they're living off of pay-per-views and you know, being the elite on YouTube. That's all they're living off of. You know, and yet they're able to draw so much. Sad. So I don't know what to say. It's sad. Speaking of AEW, Shawn Spears on chair shot to Cody Rhodes, and I want to give my last thoughts before I leave. Okay. People were like, "Oh, it wasn't needed. Oh, why did it do it? Oh, it ruined the show. Oh, it did this. Oh, it did that." Fam, this is coming from the same people who bitched and moaned about WWE fucking doing kiddie shit, doing childish fucking antics, right? So when AEW does unprotected headshot, which I haven't seen in how long, I'm not saying it was needed. No, it wasn't really needed. But obviously, with something that vicious, it's obviously going to be played into the storyline that is being built. You know, I'm sure Cody in storyline is going to take that to heart, being like, I fucking vouch for this kid, and he hit me with a fucking chair in my skull. I didn't have a chance to bring my hand up to protect myself. You know? For all these people that complain about WWE's childish antics, but yet, when AEW does something like that, you're claiming that it ruined the show because of a chair shot to the head? Really? These are the same people that want to see blood. I want to see extreme matches, extreme situations on WWE. But yeah, AEW does something like this, and you're complaining? Fuck out of here, bro. When I saw this, I popped. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I was crazy. I was all over the place. An emphatic statement there by Shawn Spears with a chair shot. And yet these people coming out here complaining? Fuck out of here, dude. It's just sad. It's just sad. There's a lot of talk. There was a lot of talk about Spears and MJF teaming together after Spears hit Cody Rhodes with a chair shot at Fyter Fest last weekend. Cody and MJF are good friends, and MJF had backstage altercations with Spears following the chair shot. Speculation is that the MJF Spears interaction at Fight for the Fallen will lead to Cody versus Spears at All Out pay-per-view in August. As seen below, which I should probably... Oh, it's okay. It's a Twitter feud thing here. As seen below, MJF took to Twitter to react to the six-man match announcement yesterday. He wrote, "Seriously?" Spears responded to the Road to Fight for the Fallen episode where the chair shot was covered and commented on Cody. He did not reference the match. Spears wrote, "Speaking of vulnerable, he bled exactly how I thought he would, easily. Now, if AEW feels they are on any kind of explanation, they can send good old JR for a nice little sit down. Sincerely, a great hand." You can see the tweets below. And then the Mount Rushmore of violence: Darby Allin, Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc against MJF, Shawn Spears, and Sammy Guevara. Interesting. Tweeted by Darby Allin. So there's gonna be a six-man tag at Fight for the Fallen, with Shawn Spears and MJF teaming up, which that part of me makes that doesn't really make any sense, because MJF was talking a lot of shit to Shawn Spears after the press conference after AEW's Fyter Fest. So it would make sense for them to not team together. I really hope they change this. Maybe Shawn Spears and somebody else, or MJF and somebody else, not MJF and Shawn Spears teaming together. That wouldn't really make any sense. I'm sure in that match, MJF's gonna get vengeance for Cody Rhodes, on Shawn Spears. That's just my take on that. In the end of the day, I don't know why there's people complaining about the chair shot. Was it needed? No, but it did make things a bit exciting. It was unpredictable. Nobody really predicted a chair shot like that. Nobody predicted Shawn Spears coming out and hitting Cody Rhodes. So in the end of the day, I'm excited to see what happens at maybe All Out or Fight for the Fallen even. Okay, I'm gonna read these last two articles. Or the last three articles, and I'm gonna leave. Alright, so this show's might go an hour. WWE reportedly worried about losing teenage fans to AEW. Backstage news on Ricochet's push as well. WWE officials have been very aware that they have lost touch with the key demographic, teenagers, according to Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio. There's reportedly have been concern that the company will completely lose their teenage viewers when AEW hits on TNT this fall. WWE recent attempts at an edgier product will work with keeping teenage fans and making new ones in that demographic. There was a feeling that they had to take this new edgy direction to help with the demo, and for other obvious reasons. Regarding superstars that could connect with teenagers, Meltzer noted that there aren't many younger top talents on the main roster, but we could see some call-up soon. The new push for the United States champion in WWE, Ricochet, is likely being done, at least in part, to help with the teenage demographic. The new Raw executive director Paul Heyman is said to be very high on Ricochet. Meltzer noted that Ricochet is a talent that can likely appeal to teenagers, and that is the new goal for the company. to make sure teenagers don't go to AEW before their weekly TV show starts later this year. I think the damage has been done, and they're already gonna go. Or at least they're gonna do is watch more AEW than WWE. Double Raw and SmackDown tapings announced for UK. I really do hate when Raw and SmackDown goes to the United Kingdom, mainly because they tape the shows. That's mainly it. I love the UK crowd. It's just I hate when they fucking tape the shows. It really pisses me off because then I can't tell who's cheering who. I can't tell if the cheers are real or are they fake. You know, it's tough. I hate that. As noted on Tuesday, WWE Raw TV taping scheduled for Monday, November 11th from the SSE Hydro Arena in Glasgow, Scotland has been changed to a non-televised event. Ticketmaster announced to fans today that the Friday, November 8th WWE SmackDown event scheduled for the Manchester Arena in Manchester, England will now be a double TV taping of SmackDown and Raw. Bad move. These Raw Friday SmackDown taping will air that night on Fox, while Raw tapings will air following on Monday in the USA Network, which I don't like. This event will now begin at 6 p.m. local time. Doors will open at 4:30 p.m. Here's the thing. Double tapings, I hate that. It kills the crowd a lot. You know, it's not like NXT. When NXT does double tapings or multiple tapings, it feels like the crowd is always electric. It doesn't feel like the crowd is dead at some points. You know, both Raw and SmackDown, it always feels like the fucking show is dead and the crowd has no energy whatsoever. So I don't really like that. Double tapings on a show. And I forgot that SmackDown will be on Fridays after October. I keep forgetting that. Backstage news on Street Profits, WWE status. Oh, that's a long one to read. Okay. NXT Tag Champ Street Profits is still technically a part of the Black and Gold brand roster, according to Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer Radio. Good! Stay there! Please! Don't come up yet. Don't be like the Viking Raiders. Please don't. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. This week's Raw appearance by Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins was not seen as their official main roster call-up. And you notice that they showed up on Raw. They didn't show up on SmackDown. Thank you. But they are still expected to appear on Raw at various times. Regarding Monday's appearance, Meltzer noted that there were a lot of backstage politics involved. Although it was specified what that meant, Meltzer also speculated that the Profits appeared due to new Raw Executive Director Paul Heyman having his fingerprints on this week's show. They may have appeared as a Heyman move to get new fresh faces on the show. It was also noted that there could be an interesting situation brewing with Heyman and new SmackDown Executive Director Eric Bishoff with a potential battle over who gets the top NXT call-ups on their brand, which I like. I like to hear that. That, you know, Bischoff and Heyman are going to go neck and neck about who gets what, who gets the bigger star, blah, blah, blah. Street Profits on Raw, so who's going to go to SmackDown? Which other tag team that was hot might go to SmackDown? Maybe Birch and Lorcan. Maybe they can go to SmackDown. Or maybe the Forgotten Sons. They're kind of you know, on a roll at the moment. You know, the crowd, the NXT rather, are starting to put them on TV a lot, get them involved a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised if they show up on SmackDown. But then again, I'm gonna have to give it to Lorcan and Birch. It was also noted that there could be an interesting situation brewing between Heyman and Bischoff over who gets the NXT top call-ups, top NXT call-ups on their brand. There's also potential issue with Triple H wanting to keep certain talents on NXT until he feels like they're ready to be called up, which that should be another thing, by the way. There's still no word on how Triple H is fitting into the latest WWE creative shakeup with Heyman and Bischoff being hired, but there is an interesting layer added there with NXT and potential call-ups. Ford and Dawkins are still listed on the NXT roster as of this writing. They are set to defend their titles at TakeOver Toronto 2, event during SummerSlam weekend, Saturday, August 10th, which I will not be going because I can't get good seats, and I refuse to set up at a fucking nosebleed again. I refuse. I refuse. I'm sorry. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. I just don't want to do it. When you debut on Raw, but you forgot to hit the record on the DVR. I'm about to see the picture on this. I don't know. I'm gonna get back to that later on. All right, last one. Okay. This one I was really hyped for to read. Okay, so this show, 5 more minutes. Okay. Okay. Backstage notes on Paul Heyman Influence on this week's Raw. Was Corey Graves' line scripted? We'll see. Paul Heyman's reportedly had his fingerprints all over Raw's episode this week, with most of the material going through him, according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio. However, Vince McMahon and Red Brand head writer Ed Koskey were the main ones discussing the show at the big production meeting for this week's Raw, not Heyman. It was noted that this week's Raw was not 100% Heyman's show, but it was very heavy Paul Heyman episode. Essentially his first as a new executive director of the Red Brand. PW Insider reported that Heyman was sitting with Vince McMahon at the gorilla position together for the most of the show. We speculated before that Corey Graves' holy shit line was, after the stage explosion with Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley, may have been scripted. Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that the line was scripted. We had noted earlier how WWE didn't use the 7 plus second delay to bleep the word. There was reportedly a feeling that they did the line to add the recent efforts to make Raw seem more edgier, which I appreciate. Fans online seem to be under the impression that Heyman ran this past Monday night's Raw, as it came off as a better episode compared to what we've seen in recent weeks, which is kind of true. There was a light thank you Heyman chant in the American Airlines Center following the stage explosion angle with Strowman and Lashley this past Monday. Regarding that explosion angle, WWE used the overhead shot backstage because they wanted to make it look like it wasn't a part of the planned show. Heyman did appear on Raw as Brock Lesnar's advocate in a backstage segment to get the NXT Tag Team Champions Street Profits over, but there are still no plans for him to be an authority figure on TV. Thank you. He said that literally, Heyman said that that's fucking played out. Like, the authority figure on TV is fucking played out. Just make the match, I don't need a general manager to tell me why Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, for an example, is going to be fighting on pay-per-view. Heyman, I swear to God, he has the best mind for this business, I'm telling you. Anyways, Heyman was very adamant about not working an authority figure role on TV. With the feeling that the role has been played out for years, one of the changes Heyman reportedly wants to make is doing away with authority figures. As we've noted, new SmackDown Executive Director Eric Bischoff is expected to be at SmackDown's show this week. He was expected to be on SmackDown this past week in San Antonio. Bischoff's fingerprints may end up being on SmackDown, but the word is that his first official episode will be post Extreme Rules on July 16th. So there you go. So Bischoff will get his hands on SmackDown following Extreme Rules. Heyman did not wait. He got his hands on Monday Night Raw. Literally, this past week. So I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped to see where WWE goes following Extreme Rules, but I'm more hyped to see how WWE goes after SummerSlam. So what do you guys think, man? By the way, happy 4th of July, or belated 4th of July. I'm recording this the day of, but I'm going to be posting this after. I may post this on the day of. I don't know. I'm recording it very early, almost 1 o'clock, 3 minutes to 1. So yeah, I don't know. If you guys can, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter. What do you guys think? Paul Heyman, Raw, Bischoff on SmackDown. Well, he's not showing up until the 16th. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy Raw? Did you enjoy that spot? Did you enjoy Corey Graves saying holy shit on television? Let me know. Hope you guys can enjoy the 7 Days podcast. I know it was a little longer this time. I just wanted to talk about a lot of news that came out, give my thoughts. I don't know how a chair shot to the head ruined an entire free per-view, by the way. I just don't know, but that's just me. I hope you guys, again, enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Thank you guys for listening, and I'm out. Later.